Love Judy.
I'm Jessica Dupart. A lot of people know me as Judy. I am the owner of Kaleidoscope Hair Products. To date, the company's probably made close to $40 million. Also birthed Kaleidoscope Realty, Kaleidoscope Management, Kaleidoscope Cares, Kaleidoscope Shipping and Receiving. Yeah, all of that.
The moment DA Brat walked onto the stage, she knew this moment would change everything. The world had seen her as an unshakable force, but today, she was vulnerable, ready to expose the truth about her relationship with Judy. The truth about Judy's hidden past, the things she never shared, the secrets she kept tucked away from everyone, even DA Brat. For the first time, DA Brat was letting the world in. She was no longer willing to protect Judy from the truth. The impact of these secrets wasn't just emotional, it affected everything, including their family dynamic. "I never wanted to be here," DA Brat said, her voice breaking as she struggled to find the right words. "But the truth has to come out." DA Brat's voice trembled as she continued to speak about Judy's secret past. "I never thought I'd be sitting here, talking about things I didn't know about the woman I loved," DA Brat shared. But the truth came crashing down, and there was no hiding it anymore. Judy's past had always been a mystery, but DA Brat had never imagined the full extent of what it held. "I found out things that I never thought were possible, things that made me question everything I thought I knew about her," DA Brat said, voice thick with emotion. "It's one thing to find out someone has a past, but it's another to realize that past was kept from you, on purpose."
I love you, and of course I love her. And I don't like the tension. Because she seen me hurting over the interview you just did. What happened in that interview you did? I don't want them to get the reaction that you give. Because after you did your interview, bloggers and interviewers, they like, "You ain't talked to your sister?" But I was like, "I talk to my sister every day. Whether I talk to you every day or not. We good. Don't worry about us."
DA Brat had always been supportive of Judy, trying to help her navigate the challenges they faced as a couple. But the deeper DA Brat dug into Judy's history, the more painful the revelations became. "I had no idea what she'd been hiding. I thought we were building a future together, but now I'm left wondering if that future was ever even real," DA Brat admitted. "It's hard to reconcile the woman I loved with the secrets she kept. The betrayal cuts deeper than I ever expected." DA Brat didn't just find out about one secret. She uncovered multiple hidden parts of Judy's past that had been carefully kept away. "There were things I didn't even know were possible," DA Brat shared, shaking her head in disbelief. "Judy had a whole other life before I came into the picture. A life she didn't want me to know about." DA Brat began to describe how Judy had been hiding financial struggles, failed relationships, and personal mistakes. "She kept telling me she had it all together, that she was handling everything," DA Brat said. "But the more I learned, the more I realized she was drowning in her own past, and I was too blind to see it." Judy's hidden debts, past romantic entanglements, and unresolved issues were a shock to DA Brat. "I thought we were building something honest, but now I see she was keeping a whole side of herself locked away," DA Brat explained. "It hurt to know that she wasn't as open and honest with me as I thought. I had no idea who she really was." This discovery left DA Brat feeling betrayed and confused, unsure of how to move forward. How can you trust someone who's been hiding so much from you? How can you keep building with them when you know they've built their life on lies? As DA Brat opened up about the emotional toll that Judy's secrets took on her, it was clear that the damage was profound. "I kept telling myself it was okay, that maybe everyone had things in their past. But these weren't just small secrets," DA Brat explained, her voice breaking. "This was about things that impacted us. It wasn't just about her not being truthful, it was about the things she'd done that affected both of our lives." Judy's past wasn't just a distant memory, it was a shadow that followed them. "I felt like I was living in a house of cards, constantly trying to keep everything in place, but the foundation was weak," DA Brat confessed. "I couldn't shake the feeling that every step forward we took, Judy's past was pulling us 2 steps back." DA Brat shared how Judy's financial instability had trickled into their relationship, causing emotional strain and financial anxiety. "I didn't know where to turn anymore. I couldn't trust her judgment. I couldn't trust anything she said. And that's what hurt the most." The emotional damage wasn't just about broken trust, It was about the realization that DA Brat had been in love with someone who wasn't fully honest with her. I wasn't just hurt, I was heartbroken, DA Brat said, tears threatening to spill. I thought I knew her, but the truth was, I didn't. And that's what made it so hard to face. The financial issues DA Brat uncovered were among the most devastating parts of Judy's past. It wasn't just that Judy had debt, it was that she kept it from me, DA Brat explained. I had to carry that burden alone, without knowing why. I thought we were in this together, but every time I turned around, there was another bill, another mess she wasn't taking care of. DA Brat recalled the sleepless nights, wondering how they would cover their expenses while Judy's financial problems piled up. I worked hard for everything I had, and Judy's inability to manage her own finances started putting us both at risk, DA Brat shared, shaking her head. I didn't want to believe it at first, but the deeper I dug, the worse it got. Judy was hiding things from me, things I never thought I'd have to deal with. Judy's refusal to confront her own financial mess only added to the emotional burden DA Brat carried. I felt like I was constantly cleaning up her mess, covering up the things she didn't want to face. I was holding us together, but it felt like the weight was too much, DA Brat confessed. The financial strain created a toxic dynamic in their relationship, and DA Brat had no choice but to face the reality that Judy wasn't taking responsibility for her actions. I couldn't fix it for her. I couldn't keep pretending that everything was okay when it wasn't. When DA Brat confronted Judy about her hidden past, the emotional weight of the conversation was immediate and overwhelming. Judy's reaction was a mixture of shock, defensiveness, and regret. The truth DA Brat had uncovered had left her feeling exposed, and Judy struggled to come to terms with the reality of the situation. At first, Judy couldn't believe I knew everything, DA Brat shared, recalling the initial disbelief that radiated from Judy's face. Judy's first instinct was to deny the truth, to downplay the severity of the situation. She was shocked, and then she tried to deny it, said it wasn't as bad as I thought, DA Brat continued. In that moment, it was clear that Judy had been living in a world where she didn't fully acknowledge the damage her actions had caused. She was caught off guard, not just by the fact that DA Brat knew everything, but by the depth of the hurt she had caused. But DA Brat wasn't backing down. She had the evidence, and she wasn't going to let Judy brush it under the rug. But I had the evidence, and she couldn't hide from the truth anymore, DA Brat said. The reality of the situation began to sink in for Judy, and the weight of her actions started to settle on her shoulders. The truth couldn't be avoided any longer, no matter how much Judy tried to defend herself or deny the impact of her lies. Judy's initial defensive posture slowly gave way to something more vulnerable, regret. It was a moment of raw emotion, as Judy realized just how much damage had been done to their relationship. She apologized, but it didn't change anything, DA Brat explained, her voice heavy with sorrow. The sincerity in Judy's apology was undeniable, but it wasn't enough to heal the wounds that had been inflicted over time. The damage was done, and no amount of apologies could undo the hurt, DA Brat continued, her words tinged with a sense of finality. Judy's apology, no matter how heartfelt, couldn't undo the years of lies, the broken trust, and the emotional pain that had been building for so long. DA Brat had heard the words, but they were just that, words. And as much as Judy seemed to regret her actions, it was clear that the hurt remained. Judy appeared genuinely remorseful in that moment, but her remorse wasn't enough to take full responsibility for the years of deception. She kept saying she was sorry, but it wasn't enough, DA Brat shared, reflecting on the futility of the situation. It wasn't that Judy didn't care or wasn't sorry. It was that her apology couldn't fix what had been broken. The lies, the betrayal, and the hurt had already created a chasm that couldn't be bridged by mere words. DA Brat needed more than that. She needed actions to match the promises, but Judy's inability to offer real change left DA Brat feeling as though nothing would ever be different. I needed more than words. I needed actions. I needed someone who was willing to change and do better, DA Brat said firmly. At that point, it wasn't about hearing apologies or feeling bad for Judy. It was about seeing tangible steps toward healing and accountability. DA Brat had given so much to the relationship, invested so much of herself, and she realized that she couldn't continue pouring herself into someone who wasn't actively working to improve. Words alone couldn't undo the years of mistrust and pain. Only real change and effort could show DA Brat that Judy was committed to repairing what had been broken. Judy's attempts to explain herself, to offer reasons for her actions, left DA Brat feeling even more conflicted. "I don't know what I was expecting, but her words didn't mean anything to me anymore," DA Brat confessed, feeling the emotional weight of the conversation settle deep within her. She had hoped for something more, some form of reassurance that Judy could change, that they could move forward. But what she got was just more words that didn't match the actions. "The trust was broken, and I couldn't keep pretending that everything was fine," DA Brat continued, the reality of the situation becoming clearer with every passing moment. Trust, once broken, was not easily rebuilt, and no amount of explaining or apologizing could repair the damage done. For DA Brat, the emotional toll of the conversation was profound. She had loved Judy, had trusted her with everything, but now she was faced with the painful truth that sometimes, even love and apologies aren't enough to heal the wounds of betrayal. Judy's words were not empty, they were full of regret. But the problem wasn't that Judy didn't care, it was that her actions hadn't shown the commitment to change that DA Brat needed. The pain of realizing that their relationship had been built on shaky ground was overwhelming. She is turning her focus to rebuilding her career, reconnecting with her loved ones, and finding peace within herself. "This is a new chapter for me. I'm taking back control of my life," DA Brat shared, a renewed sense of purpose in her voice. "I've learned it the hard way, but I'm not going to let this define me." DA Brat is committed to healing and reclaiming the life she deserves. "I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm ready for whatever comes next," DA Brat says with a determined smile. If DA Brat's story resonated with you, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about DA Brat's courage to expose the truth? We'd love to hear from you.